friends, and welcome back to EB Sims. If this is your first time with us, my name's Elena, and today we are returning to my roots. And by that I mean the thing that I did constantly when my channel started, which admittedly was like a month ago. So we haven't developed that far, but we are coming back to my sort of like Simsy Save inspired project, which as of now, I am really only at the stage of making over the townies because that's kind of what I think is the most fun. But I'm going to make over all the maxis townies, all the maxis lots, fill in all the empty lots with my own creations, and then use that as kind of my save to play from when I actually, start a game. So today, obviously, we're doing the Free Spirit household, which don't know how to say either of their names correctly, so we're just going to go with Micah and Ulrich. They both sound kind of like German last names instead of first names, but we're working on it. Anyway, I didn't have a whole lot of beef with the character design of these two. Like, I really loved almost everything about Ulrich. Her whole, thing was cute with, the emo, artsy, high detail goth thing she had going on. And Micah, I loved that she had, I love when they give Sims, big, arched or hooked noses. Love that. And I love that she had those cute chubby cheeks and everything, but she just had, a punchable face, and something was really up with her eyeballs. And she had, can I speak to the manager hair? So we remedied all of that, whilst keeping the parts of her that I did like and felt inspired by character-wise. Because that's sort of what I'm trying to do, is keep a little bit of the original maxis, backstory and flavor. Keep the, the color palette that they have for them originally. Keep, their complexion the same pretty much. But just toy with them until I feel like I would enjoy seeing them around, until I feel invested in them, and I think I'll remember who they are and care about them, which I did with these two. So one of the cardinal sins of this household, obviously, I think as the packs get newer and newer, these two came with, I believe, the Get Together pack, and as those get newer and newer, the design gets less cringy, so the OG, the 2014 original base game Sims are horrifying, and they need a lot of work. But with the newer ones, I think they're cuter and cuter increasingly. But I really need somebody from EA or Maxis, whoever was in charge of designing these Sims, to look me dead in the eyeballs and explain to me why they would put two adorable, artsy, intellectual type ladies in a house together and then not make them married. They should be paying my health insurance. That shit gave me heart palpitations. I guess we have Brant and Brent, or whatever those dudes' names are that live in Brindleton Bay, but I need more than that, It's not enough to have one cute pair of married gays. I want a second one, and I want to be able to project on them as thoroughly as I project onto Micah, the uptight but ultimately very lazy writer. It's fine. I'm on top of my schoolwork. I don't know what you're talking about. I apologize if you can hear jingling in the background. That is my roommate's cat, Porch Apprentice. She's a doll. She's a doll, but she also is very high strung. She's the Ulrich of the pair of cats that we have, I guess. So I ended up really liking them in the end, so I hope you do too, and I will upload them to the gallery at some point, if you want to use the non-shitty versions of the Free Spirit household. But yeah, I think even this is how I know that I was done with them. By the end of my little makeover, I felt like I wanted to start a Let's Play fixing their life and making them very happy. So, now I feel some kind of ownership over these characters, which is always just my goal in the end. So yeah, we got plenty of time. So what's been up with you lately? I'm behind on my homework. I know I lied and said that I wasn't, but I have 3 enormous projects due in about a month or a month and a half, and I just started getting heartburn about it. You know what I mean? We're at the stage when the professor asks, so how far are you guys on this project in class? And you go and you just say about a step or 2 steps further than you actually are. Porch Apprentice, calm down. They've been a lot lately. I don't know what it is. I think the fall weather is getting them frisky. But the other day, one of them ran at the wall, and we have this little alarm panel next to the front door. You know, so kind of like think of where a light switch is, sort of height-wise, and then above that, we have an alarm panel. And this cat, I'm not kidding, I'm just sitting on the couch, totally like minding my own business, probably playing The Sims, and this cat just comes streaking out of my room, like so fast you can't make out the form of the cat, and runs up the wall and grabs onto the alarm panel with just like her claws on top of it, kind of like an action hero, like hanging onto the edge of a cliff, like there's like a, you know, like Mufasa hanging onto the cliff, and Scar was like about to pick her claws off one by one. Like that was the level of desperation with which she was hanging onto this alarm panel about 5 feet up the wall. So if she wasn't, you know, a cat and then also a demon cat, she would make a great gymnast. Anyway, yeah, it is actually finally fall here, which is fun. The deep south was not as oppressively hot as I expected, but it just stayed hot for so long that now finally it is like the weather where I feel comfortable wearing a sweater, which means, like, here's the progression that I noticed, okay? Not to psychoanalyze the locals, but I do that all the time. So when I moved here, it was like 95 all the time or higher. Just that was the temperature that it was, and you died and you went inside as fast as you could. And you thanked God for air conditioning, because if I had lived through that in like even 20 years ago, I think I might have died. And then as soon as it got below 90, I started having clients. I work as a writing tutor, and I started having clients come in wearing sweatshirts. And it wasn't even that far below 90 either. Like it was like 88, 87, and people were coming in sweatshirts. So now we're starting to have it like in the low 70s during the day, which is very exciting for me. Like we turned the heat on in my house. Don't laugh. It wasn't my choice, but we did do that. 'Cause it's kind of like brisk at night, you know? So to me, this is like sweater weather. I'm finally I'm putting on some light cardigans, some jackets. I'm having a great time. And then one of the girls in my class comes in wearing a winter coat. And I'm a full like northern person stereotype of like, oh, this isn't cold, this is great, I feel amazing. But I really this is when I start to thrive, okay, when it gets below 80, and then this is when they all start to shut down. And I just want to know, because again, I go to a big state school, and I really am excited to see this weekend is sort of the Halloween celebration time. I'm excited to see how they balance the like slutty to warm costume thing, because that was always really difficult when I went to school in Indiana, because it's Indiana, like it's freezing usually around October, you know, late October. You're not having a good time outside and you're like skimpy costume. So we have to find a way to like survive. Either there are some girls that they're just tough bitches, and they'll walk from their house 3/4 of a mile to some frat house in like lingerie, and it'll be like snowing outside. And I admire that, don't get me wrong, but I think there is like, the balance is a little bit more gentle than that. So you'll see people wearing like a leather jacket with their costume, like, you know, they're like Charlie's Angels or something. Last year I went as Robin Sparkles, who is Robin's like Canadian teen pop star alter ego from How I Met Your Mother, solely because it enabled me to wear an enormous denim jacket, because otherwise I was freezing my tits off. But yeah, because like you would assume at a state school that people are going to have like the hoe costume, which I support. I'm excited for that. But also, if everybody is freezing cold when it starts to be 70 degrees, like how will this play out? I feel like it's like this is when you get to know, I think, the survival instincts of your average, like, college, your, like, undergraduate college girl, I feel like, has very interesting survival instincts, because we will totally compromise our own health and safety to look cute, but only so far. And we have pretty ingenious ways of, like, not getting frostbite, even though we're dressed slutty in the middle of the winter. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I have no current, like, Halloween costume plans, which is kind of par for the course this time of year. But I am planning on making some fun, like, Halloween-y videos this weekend and uploading them. I'm thinking of, like, a Supernatural Create a Sim video. Maybe I'll I'll upload the second segment of my cult thing. Maybe I'll actually figure out how the vampires work. I don't know, but it should be fun, and we'll figure it out. I'll build something haunted, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I thrive this time of year, and I'm so excited to be wearing sweaters and to be like feeling a chill. The other day, okay, so I did sleep through the first 2 hours of my workday, which is a problem because if I get fired from that job, then I no longer can afford to go to school here. Thankfully, my boss is super nice, and she was totally chill about it, but I realized that the reason I slept in that long is because I was fully covered with a blanket from like my neck all the way to my toes, and it felt amazing. Like, this is the time of year that I am very excited for. I know it's basic to be excited about fall, but I'm very pumped about it. A fun thing that happened yesterday. I ordered Jimmy John's, right? And like any self-respecting college student who might have maybe consumed a weed once, or, like a dandelion, I used to eat dandelions every once in a while, and that means that I have a distinct Jimmy John's order. Like, I know it by the back, like the back of my hand. I order it the same way every time. And here I've discovered the Jimmy John's is actually pretty quick. Like, they get here in 15 or 20 minutes. So I order my regular Jimmy John's order, which I could order blindfolded and asleep. And then I wait 20 minutes and I realize that it's not here yet. And I'm starving because I'm a hot mess who doesn't know how to buy groceries. So I I think I literally sat down next to the window with my phone, just like looking out, waiting for him to call me, looking out at the street, making sure they could find my house. And I was wondering what was taking so long, because normally they're very speedy. And then finally I see the lights like come into the driveway. I see the kid get out of his car and start walking up the front, that beautiful Jimmy John's hat that just means like salvation is near. And he was holding the bag super weird. Like, I could see the sandwich poking out of the bag, which usually you can't. With like, the 8-inch sub sandwich, it fits perfectly well inside that little lunch bag. It's great. You have your chips. When you get like chips, cookie, pickle, sandwich, it's like this perfect little rectangle of food. But he was like cradling it like it was a baby. And I wondered like, what's happened? Like, is he injured? Is something? But no, he came up to the door and just like normal, like receipt, bag, whatever. I come inside, I sit down on the couch, and I thought like the sandwich was falling out of the bag because I could see so much of it poking out above like the edge. But no, I pulled the sandwich out and it just kept coming. And let me just stick a photo in here of what I received from Jimmy John's. Yeah. And I promise you that I ordered my regular thing. It was an 8-inch. It was fine. But on their website, they do say that they make, like... Sorry for the rude interruption there. I forget what I was talking about entirely because this stray cat named Goose came to visit our house, and I am in love with Goose. And so, you understand. I couldn't focus on voiceover when that beautiful, handsome boy was standing outside my door. That's the fun. Like, I'm not used to... just kind of animals, like stray animals at all, because again, like from the frigid north, so we don't have a lot of stray animals because they all die. Sorry, that's super morbid, but here, because the winters are like totally survivable for furry animals, like there's just, this whole neighborhood is run by cats. Like I am in love with it a little bit, but it's also very bad because I need to not adopt 50 animals while I am on a budget and going to move in 2 years to like Korea or something. I don't know. So I can't adopt a cat, but I can adopt an outdoor cat, and that cat is my son Goose. And today I went out there and I fed him. I stole some of my roommate's cat food for him, and then I sat there and watched while he ate it, and then just sat there petting the top of his head because I didn't want to reach into any of his other fur because, like, stray cat, there's a lot of fleas and things. For, I'm not kidding, like 45 minutes, I just sat on my stoop and I stared at the street and I petted the cat, and it was the most beautiful moment I've had all week. So I feel great. It was very autumnal, Thing I wanted to mention, I was listening to The Adventure Zone as I did this whole as I recorded everything for this. And if you don't watch or not watch, it's a podcast. If you don't listen to podcasts, why wouldn't you? If you're watching this video, podcasts are right up your alley. It's just like having somebody talk at you, but you don't actually have to like see other people. And it's the McElroy brothers and their dad, who the McElroy brothers are known for My Brother and Me, which is a different podcast, and it's hilarious and I love it. But this one is them playing D&D together. They're not great at D&D, to be honest, but it is really entertaining, and I don't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons, so it doesn't bother me that they suck at it. And as I was recording this, like, footage, the most beautiful, like, scene of two characters that you knew they were going to get together and you were rooting for them, and they finally got together as I was filming this video. So I tried to channel that love, that deep destiny, fate type of affection into these Sims. That doesn't make sense, but they're deeply in love. And here's the deal: if you ever play with these two Sims, which I know most people don't play with, like, built like maxis households or whatever, but if you do and you don't have them fall in love, then you owe me $50,000. I will take it in the form of Cheesecake Factory gift cards, and or products from Sephora. There is no other option. You just owe me a lot of money if you ever play with these Sims and they're not in love with each other. I gave them a cat because it felt right, in the spirit of sort of the Simsy save, like trying to make everything feel more cohesive in the game so that the pets are sort of woven throughout all the different worlds, and all the clothes and the furniture are, you have the best of both worlds, except for instead of 2, there's like 7. So I gave him a cat, and I made him blue. I'm not great at the whole pet customizing thing as of yet. I'm still working on that a little bit, but it just felt correct for him to have little, like, he's got blue ears and a blue tail, which you can, for realism's sake, say that he got into, like, Ulrich's painting supplies or something. But yeah, I am very excited to do some kind of Halloween-y stuff. And I don't know, what else is coming up? I'm going to do more TV show casts. I've been working on the Good Place cast. It's taken me a really long time, and I'm very excited about it. I'm still only halfway through, but that'll go up at some point. I'm going to do the Adventure Zone cast. So watch that so you can watch the video and have it make sense. Like I said, a second installment of The Cult. All that stuff will be coming up. So feel free to subscribe if you would like to. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you appreciate you, and I will see you all next time.